Dr Rick, back again with another bulletin regarding the COVID-19 vaccination programme in our local area of Tameside and Glossop. Today, I want to talk about transport. Of course, there are many people who have cars and bicycles who can walk, who can get to and from the vaccination sites. But there are some people who don't have that luxury. So they rely on friends and relatives and neighbours to get them to and from appointments. Now, this is one appointment, having your vaccination against a potentially killer virus, which is so very important. And the people of Tameside and Glossop, and also Greater Manchester, have been working really hard to make it easy for people to get to and from these appointments. So in Tameside, there is an organisation called Miles of Smiles. And Miles of Smiles is a community transport scheme operating for the use of residents of Tameside, where volunteer drivers use their own cars to take people to health and well-being appointments. This scheme has been running for many years, but it's been adapted recently to help people get to and from their COVID vaccination. So if you feel you need support and there's nobody else to take you, then please ask Miles for Smiles. Also, if you're a resident of Tameside and you have a car and you wouldn't mind helping out, then you can actually become a volunteer also for Miles of Smiles, and you'll undergo training about how to keep your passengers safe. The first thing to do is contact Miles for Smiles or an organisation called Action Together. Now, the phone number for Miles of Smiles is 622 2090. So that's 622 2090. And give them at least 72 hours to organise your transport. They are an amazingly friendly and wonderfully local organisation. Now, across Manchester as a whole, there are many vaccination sites opening up, and some of these Tameside residents can also use, but they need to travel there. So Transport for Greater Manchester, which is a huge umbrella organisation that looks after the buses and the train lines and the interconnections between them in Manchester, have been working very hard to try and organise transport to and from these vaccination sites. On their website, they have a map where all the vaccination sites are, and also advice about the train and the bus routes to get there. There is a service, in addition to this, for people who would struggle to use public transport, either through disability or because they live in an area with poor communication routes. They can use Ring and Ride. If you're a resident of Manchester and you have a concessionary pass, i.e. a free bus pass, then you could phone Ring and Ride, and they will then use their minibus service to help you get from one place to the next. It's an amazing service, and one which has been a lifeline for so many people around Greater Manchester. Now, I'd like to give just one final bit of advice. If you're going for your COVID vaccination, think about being driven there by somebody else rather than going on your own. The reason for this is because many people find vaccinations a little bit scary, and sometimes they can be lightheaded or even faint afterwards. These aren't side effects to the vaccination, but they're just something that happens to some people. And rather than having to wait 15 minutes and be observed because of feeling lightheaded, it may be easier for your friends or relatives and people within your bubble to drive you there and then drive you home again.